What's up guys, it's Punchy, and today we got a new Deepwoken update that I think is really exciting. So we got a few new abilities to mess around with and something special, so make sure you check it out for yourself. I can't wait to show you what's up, and let's get right into it. Following in the footsteps of the last few weekly updates, we received another hybrid mantra that's something new entirely. So this time it's a combination of Shadowcast and Frostdraw with an investment cost of 30 Shadow and 30 Frost. It's going to be a new hybrid 2-star mantra. Anyway, on activation, we place down a glowing active field of darkness that doesn't really do much, but wait until you see what happens if somebody walks inside. As soon as somebody sets foot inside of this field or we cast it on them, pillars of chilling shadow pierce our target and hit them with a mix of both ice and darkness. This is pretty sweet, and I see a lot of potential if you can manage to keep your target still. It's some sort of partial domain expansion type ability that can be modified with duration and size, so I think I'll love this move, and you guys probably will too. Keep an eye out because we aren't done yet. Another hybrid mantra has also dropped with this week, and it's an interesting mix of both Iron Sing and Thundercall. This one needs an investment of 30 points from Iron Sing and Thundercall, and it's really sick. Iron Tether places a modifiable trap that shuts down enemies when they walk into it, so when this happens it slams shut, hitting them with a stun and damage on top. So it's really cool, and I'm ready to try this out. Moving forward, we also have some new stuff for Flame because, as always, glory to Flame Charm, and we gotta keep fire at the top. I was kinda kidding about that, but anyway, Fire Gun, a recently reworked mantra that I don't really see a lot of use, has received a new Blast Spark, and this one is very straightforward, and you'll see why. Fire Gun's Blast Spark allows the user to shoot detonating fire gun bullets that simply explode the more you hit your target. After slamming your enemy with a few fire shots, these bullets will explode, doing high posture damage and decent chunks of HP, so it functions very similar to the base mantra, but with an extra explosion. Moving on, Flame Ballista, another ranged flame mantra, has something that I think is a little bit crazy and questionable. So, Flame Ballista's Spring Spark forces the user into the air and allows them to get, I guess, kind of a safer charge while being in the air, and it's possible to aim and snipe targets while being in this state, but I genuinely do not think this is a great idea to add into Deepwoken. I shared my opinion, but the Deepwoken devs have been nerfing vertical movement and ranged attacks, so why add something that has both? It makes no sense. Regardless, this gives you more options and may be cool, and I guess we could see some balance changes in the future. Anyway, something cool that happened is the visual update to Frostdraw's crystallization mantra. So before this update, as you can see, all crystals, mantras, even the Grand Sudaruska are bright blue, the same as normal Frost. Now, introduced in this update, crystallization is now a reddish pink to reflect the hardening and explosion of blood or something like that, but I genuinely have no idea. It's very cool, and it's pink and red. Anyway, all of your ice, frost mantras, chilling, even the Grand Sudaruska have a new model and color, which I think is very cool. So crystallization looks pretty sweet, and give it a shot for yourself. To be honest, I think it looks like blood, so yeah, it's cool. Alongside this, we also have a new crystal talent, being a Reclaimed Glass. This says your crystal explosions grant you and allies caught inside of them 10% elemental resistance for 8 seconds. So it's very simple. If you play aggressively, you will get rewarded with elemental defense, and this is good. On the same topic of visual recolors, Scrap Singer finally has received its justice and looks really nice. Before this update, Iron Sing's Gilded Path would turn your mantras gold and yellow, but they weren't that flashy and honestly didn't look that good, but luckily things have changed. With a few different texture exchanges and some nice sparkles, Golden Iron Sing has been redeemed and hopefully more players run it, so anything that changed, you know, your metal stuff to yellow should be golden and clean. Onto some balancing, we got a few different things here to break down, and I'll highlight some I felt were important. The Shrine of Order, arguably the strongest thing in the entire game for builds, allows you to reduce your stats after getting the expensive talents that you need. Basically, you would get those costly talents, hit the Shrine of Order, and evenly distribute your stats into anything with a point investment. Before this patch, it was impossible to control which stat points worked correctly because some inconsistent bugs would fail to distribute points, and they would ruin builds. This was fixed, and also, with this new Shrine of Order, we can visually see which stat points are being gained and which are being lost, and this is huge. Coming up next, with a substantial nerf to Mantra Pen, a few sources of damage were hit. So first off, Prophet's Cloak and its talents have dropped, and it's no longer as good. The Mantra Pen bonus dropped from 25% to 20%, which isn't that large. And next up, Thresher Claws, a talent that actually assisted Mantras, now only helps them plus 5% instead of the 10% bonus. Everything else still gets 10%, but Mantras do not. Another well-awaited change was the nerf to Gale Punch, which was a large part of Gale builds that are still meta today. Essentially, Gale Punch had inaccurate auto parry frames, making it very easy to hit and very difficult to deal with. It was hard to counteract, but this update seemed to have fixed its problems, so this may be a large hit to Gale Breath players. If you haven't logged on this weekend, make sure to check out the weekly Battle Royale game mode as always, and give it a shot with all of your friends. And that's all. If you guys want to see more exclusive update content, make sure to like and subscribe. Let's hit 70k by the end of this week because we're almost there. Thanks again, it's punchin' time.